Our guest.
Our guest.
And it's the Elaine show.
Matt with Elaine needs more of Matt.
I'm going to shut up.
No, because then it'd be boring.
Okay.
All right.
All right, we're ready.
Ready?
Yeah.
We're rolling. Hey, it's Matt from Matt with Elaine and the Automotive Truth. You ever think about starting a podcast? We did. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record, edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast. Go to anchor.fm.com or go to the App Store. Download Anchor and get started today. Whatever, let's just go with it.
Go ahead.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode, Matt with Elaine and the Automotive Truth. I am Matt Pollard.
I'm Elaine Pollard.
And here's Matt with Elaine and the Automotive Truth. We have a guest.
Yes.
Yay.
We do.
Bear with the technical difficulties. But of course, rants. Rants are first.
Yes, we have, I'm going to introduce our guest.
Oh, yeah, that would help.
Yeah.
My bad.
Melanie Bacilieri Leclerc. We love her. She is my boss lady. She is the boss lady in our service department dealership at Honda. And so she's here with us. She's our first guest. And I love her for always supporting.
Yes.
She's got her Matt with Elaine and the Automotive Truth t-shirt on.
Yep.
Even though you can't see her, she's still rocking.
We'll post a picture if that's okay later.
Yes. Is that okay, Mel?
On our social interwebs.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So anyway, she's here. And so we have some questions for her. And of course, Matt mentioned the rant of the day.
Rants, yes.
And so
but ladies first.
Mel, go ahead.
Mel first.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you guys so much for having me. Huge fan of the show.
Ooh.
Huge fan. Love what you guys are doing. Good stuff.
Thank you, Mel.
Yeah. So, my rant of the day. This is more of a kind of a general, rant / pet peeve, if you will, and this kind of ties in with a previous rant of yours, Elaine. I think it was episode 4. Activity in the workplace.
Go ahead, preach to me.
Just going to kind of add to that. Truly, honestly, I mean, we all let a little steam off, right? We're all human. We all rant from time to time, maybe even complain. It's perfectly normal and healthy, but I'm talking about the chronic complainers.
Chronic. Oh, I love that.
Chronic.
In the workplace. I overhear conversations and regarding coworkers, this person isn't doing this right, or they could be doing this better.
Tell me about it.
Advisors, talking about other advisors.
Come on, preach, girl.
This individual seems to make themselves scarce and disappear when customers come in.
Oh, you have those too?
You are on an individual pay plan,
yes.
Right? That's a benefit to you.
Yes.
And customers coming in. I've heard advisors say, oh gosh, here comes more people. Just go away, go home. Go home.
Come on.
No.
Come on, Mel.
Keep coming in. We need you to come in. Yes. You must have a mortgage that pays itself.
Hello.
A money tree.
And, all the technicians out there, guys, gals, I love you. I respect you. You have a very hard job.
Yes.
But don't worry about what your neighbor is doing versus what you're doing.
Amen to that.
Okay?
Yes.
Worry about yourself, period. Also, the dispatcher's not out to get you. I can assure you that. I promise you that.
Oh, man. Come on, Mel. Breathe.
I know. I feel my blood pressure.
I know. Tell me about it. That's what makes the episodes the good.
It's getting real.
Come on.
You gotta change your way of thinking.
Come on with the truth.
You have to.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Wow.
Thank you. That was a rant of the rant. No, it wasn't a rant of the rant. It was truth, automotive truth, people.
That sure
That's
was.
what we're speaking. Go ahead.
You go.
So we have some questions for Mel.
Do you have a rant?
I don't have a rant. Actually, I have a little something, but
You have a rant or a story?
come on. So it's not. It's a rant actually about myself sometimes, and I know that a lot of times we do this, and I know for sure that I do it all the time, right? So somebody will come to my desk, and it'll be somebody that, and not necessarily a Spanish speaking customer, but it'll be like a somebody from, I don't know, Poland, somebody from Asia, somebody that can't speak English well, or can't understand it, or whatever the case may be. Just somebody, and it's so funny because it's not with Spanish people. I mean, I guess because they understand me, but when I speak to somebody and I tend to do this a lot, like I said, when I speak to somebody and they don't understand what I'm saying, and I know that there is a language barrier, my voice tends to get higher and higher and higher. Mel, I don't know if you've noticed this or not because you're not too far from it. And so I'm like, the cabin filter,
Yeah, the
cabin, and I'm thinking to myself, my goodness, the people are not deaf.
They're not deaf, Elaine. They're not deaf.
It's just a reaction, like you feel as if you need to speak. I totally get it.
Yeah.
And yes, you do that.
I do it. I do it a lot because I catch myself doing it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm yelling
again.
You
do it at Hyundai and Toyota.
Oh my God. At Wallingford, the waiting area is around the corner. And there were these Asian Chinese people, and they were, I was talking to them, and I was getting louder and louder and louder when I come around the corner. Bob and Katie were like, Elaine, why are you yelling? They can hear you, and so can we. Oh man. And so ever since then, I'm like conscious of it, but I catch myself doing it all the time. But anyways, that's just something that I do. I thought it was funny.
There could be worse things, really.
There
could be.
God knows I have a big mouth, but I don't need to be yelling at people.
That's okay.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yeah. That's true.
Well, luckily you don't say that.
Grab him by the jacket. Do you understand me?
Right. Read my lips.
Yeah. Jeez.
Just turn around the bill. Here, this is the bill.
Yeah, how they understand numbers.
They understand money.
Oh yeah. They understand numbers very clear.
Yeah.
Correct. The numbers they get.
That's it.
We all get the numbers.
Whew, all right. Well, I got a little out of breath.
That's because we had a good dinner.
Yes. Yeah, honey. Thank you. Thank you for dinner. It was delicious.
You're welcome.
Thank you for a week.
Thanks for coming. I'd be alone by myself.
Thanks for coming. Did you hear what he said? He said, thanks for coming. I said, thanks for dinner. He said, thanks for coming. All right. So we want to get to some questions. You got questions for Mel?
My question, I always am curious about people's upbringings and then how you got into the automotive industry.
Okay. All right. So, well, my dad was a huge car fan.
Okay. There it is.
Was around vehicles, my whole childhood. My dad was always, tinkering and, muscle cars and whatnot. But honestly, that's not at all why I got into the business. It was really on accident, I guess you could say. I was fresh out of high school, 19 years old. I had moved from my hometown to move in with my, at the time, boyfriend. I was 19 years old. I needed a job. And I took a job as a part-time file clerk at a Ford dealership in Poughkeepsie, New York. Filing. I didn't know what the heck I just needed a job, right? And shortly after, maybe a couple of months, our service receptionist was moving on, and they offered me that position, full-time service receptionist. And, from there, I moved on right across the street to a Saturn dealership.
Wow.
I was there for about 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Went to Nissan and then Honda. So about 19 years in the business for dealers.
Wow. We're all about the same. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Lona with her ears. Sorry, guys.
That's awesome. One thing I wanted to ask you was, Melanie,
Sure.
because we know that it's at one time oh, I dropped Melanie. One time, at one time in my life, or a few times I should say, in our lives, I was working with. Needless to say, I'm going to say this, Mel, because it needs to be said. Mel and her husband are both my bosses. And it's hard. It was hard, back in when my husband was my boss and we were working together that way. It was a little different because I was kind of so I got to say that Melanie and her husband, Claire, they're both my boss. And so at one time, my husband and I, we worked together, as I said in the past, if you listen episodes. So he was my boss and I was the advisor. In this case, a little different because Mel is also a manager managing one side of the dealer as her husband's managing the overseeing of everything, I guess.
But he's on the back end.
He's on the back end. And so in any case, my question to you, Mel, was how hard it could be, and you know where I was going with this. How hard it can be sometimes when we don't see eye to eye on certain things. And in my case, it was a little more different. It's a little different because I was just upset about the fact that he was firing people I liked or people that I got along with, or that they were my peers, they were together in the same, but so with you it's a little different because you have to make somewhat decisions that have to talk to him about, right? You make decisions, he makes decisions. So when you get home, talk to me about, what you do as far as, do you bring it home with you? Do you leave it at work? Do you talk about it? Situations.
Arlene, I'd like to tell you that, we do leave it at work.
Okay.
That's just not the case.
Much respect.
We've been working together now for over 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
From, our facility, and we met at our last dealer together, where I was an advisor, and he was my boss.
Yeah.
But we're always, collaborating, and talking about, whether that's healthy or not. Yeah, we're not complaining. We're just talking.
Right.
Some of it might be venting. But yeah, we do bring it home. We do talk about it often.
Yeah.
We do.
It's hard not to, right? It's kind of hard not to.
It's such a big part of our lives.
Yeah.
Especially, we're together. We work together. And there's a lot of times like we don't have time to talk at work sometimes.
That's true. Very true.
A lot of the work discussions and our brainstorming and game planning, etc., is done from home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's truly what it is.
Definitely, I definitely think you need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
She talks about the game plans at home. How they brainstorm together and stuff like that. Much respect to you all, because it's tough. And you know what I love too? I love when women support their men.
Yeah.
I'm a big advocate of that. Like at church, I always encourage the sisters and my sisters, and everybody that I know, support your man, support him, and you are your husband's help meet. You're only making them better. That's what I say. I
totally agree with you 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thank you for saying that. And it's true. And it goes in the opposite way.
Vice versa. Yes, ma'am.
You're supporting one another.
Yes.
Yes, one another.
Yes. Honey, what do you say about that?
About which one?
About
which part?
About us making you all better.
Yeah, of course. But you can't be so stubborn when you don't take advice.
Oh, hello. Come on, talk about it. Talk about it, man.
You can't be so stubborn you don't take the advice. And then that builds animosity between each other. Yeah. You have to support each other. But if you guys don't agree on something, you need to collectively come to an agreement on why. And you can't be so stubborn too if it's not a good financial decision.
Right.
We both have to agree. And if it's a no, and then you have to suck it up and move on to the next thing.
Yeah. Compromise. Marriage is about compromising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, is it, guys?
I wrote that in my notes, actually.
It's not all peaches and cream, because my little girl loves
Loves what?
oatmeal.
Oatmeal.
So I always say peaches and cream.
What else, honey? You got
All right, yeah. So what do you look for when you hire an employee? From any position, service drive to the advisors, technicians. What is it you're looking for, and how do you interview?
Very good question, Matt. Very good question. I truly believe that, one of my biggest talents is, I can read people very well.
Yes.
And that's crucial, in life, and especially, in this business. I'm looking for sincerity, your personality, how you respond, eye contact. And, I really feel like I can read people very well. But, it depends on, obviously which position. For me, I'm really more in charge of, hiring, advisors or, service coordinators, what have you. But it's all about, the personality.
Yes.
You have to be able to, how do you interact with others? How you're interacting with me right now.
Yeah.
It's very important.
That's awesome.
That tells me a lot. You don't need to know everything. I can teach you whatever. But it's all about how you present yourself.
Yeah, that's so true. 100% agree.
Matt,
yeah.
Honey, that's your thing right there about, your shop and your young people and shaping and molding, young men,
and women.
Yeah, young men and women into certain positions, and he's that's a big advocate for that. Doesn't care about what you can do. It's your attitude.
Yeah, it's all about attitude.
Absolutely. Everything else is, will come easy. There's certain things that you can't teach, but everything else,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you care and you have a good personality, you'll succeed in anything.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Absolutely. You got to be willing to learn and work hard and have the right mindset, and then, you will be successful. You just have to want to be.
Exactly. Oh, there's one exactly.
The exactly counter.
There's one exactly. All right, one more question I want to ask you about your top advice, because we got to talk about your top advisor banner. Come on, Melanie.
What?
Melanie has a huge, and if you haven't seen those people that work with us and those, there's a huge banner behind her that says top advisor. And there's a reason why.
Okay.
Tell us about that. Tell us, Mel, about your top advisor.
All right.
And the competition.
In 2014, Honda had reintroduced the Top Tech and Top Advisor competition. Prior to 14, they hadn't offered it in like 10 plus years. So basically, all of the Honda technicians and advisors, you have to meet certain criteria with, CSE and, 100% self-study to qualify to take the first part. The first part is a test, a 75-question time test.
Wow.
And in 2014, I took that test. I got the top score in the district. So whoever got the top score moved on to the actual competition.
Come on, Mel, you're doing a damn thing, girl.
Wow.
So in 14, I went to zone. I got second place, so I didn't advance. 2017, I did it again. I got first place in district, went to zone. I got first place in zone, and I was one of 12 advisors in the country that got to compete at the national competition in Torrance, California, where the headquarters is located.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was an experience, something that I'll always remember. It was awesome. Honda flew myself and my husband Pat out to California, and we got to visit the Honda Museum, which was amazing. It's not open to the public. So the competition, I'll talk about the competition part for a few moments.
Yeah.
The most nerve-wracking experience of my life. Basically, it's a simulated scenario. You are playing the role of the service advisor, right? That's what you do. And there's a panel of corporate judges. You're walking into a room, it's like American Idol. And you have
American Idol.
You're auditioning.
Someone from, Honda Corporate playing the role of the customer. And you're basically just going through, the motion, your job. You're doing your job, but you're in front of people critiquing you. They're on their laptops and they're documenting every word you speak, every move you make, and you don't even know what they're looking for. You're just doing your job. And it was quite nerve-wracking to say the least, but truly an amazing experience, and I am very grateful to have, been a part of that.
Yeah, that's
wow.
That's really good stuff. Really, really good stuff.
Did you learn any skills that apply to what you do now?
I think the coolest part of that whole experience was interacting with, some of the best in the country or the best in the country. So during the whole, process, at dinners and such, we would, just kind of exchange, just
have conversations with them.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Just exchange, just ideas and our past experiences, and it was just really cool being able to interact with, people on that level, and I was just like beyond myself that how am I even here? With all these amazing people.
That's really cool.
And here I am. I just don't see myself in that.
Yeah, well, you don't see yourself. You know what?
Everybody else does.
Like everybody else sees you, Mel, because I got to tell you, last episode, I believe I spoke about how, you are one of those people that I can't say, I'm a pretty good judge of character too, for the most part. And
for the most part.
And I got the Holy Spirit of God living in me. So I got a little, first play on discernment, that there is not a fake bone about Mel. I see that. I gotta tell you this really quickly, right? So my stories. And when I got into the automotive business, I appreciated it so. And honey, you can vouch for this, because I appreciate it so that because I didn't want to be in an office with a bunch of females with the cackling and the going on and the stuff, because that's what I had in my head, would be in an office,
Yeah.
like I went in when I did medical billing and stuff like that. Like I didn't even want to be in an office with a bunch of women. I just didn't, and so I love being in the service department because it's all the technicians and I'm not surrounded by that, with the hen house, if you want to call it,
Yep.
And I gotta say that, you've changed my thinking in that way, because because I can say that, I can definitely work with females. They're all like, no, because honestly, I see like, the shadiness in people, the women can be very catty. That's the word. Women can be very catty, and that's one of the things I love about Mel, that she is, somebody can come to her and say something, and I've seen it before me, and she will say, oh, well, maybe it's this, well, maybe, no, and even myself, I'll tell her myself, Mel, you see this or and she'll be like, well, Erlene, maybe that customer was, and I'll be like, you know what?
Yeah,
You're right. You're right, but that's the way she is, that's kind of just her nature, and that's why she's on our show, because she's awesome, and you deserve being in that spot with those people. When we go to these Honda and Toyota classes, and we're sitting and they ask us to do the play. What do you call that? Role play. And we're like, oh my God, I don't want to. Could you imagine Mel in front of all those people and all those judges? People that are expecting you to say the right thing, we're shaking in our boots when we're trying to role play with each other, so kudos to you, ma'am.
That was one of my questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Role playing with advisors. That's funny you said that.
Yeah.
Are you looking at my notes?
No, I'm not. We're just on one accord.
What advice would you have for a young man, young female trying to get into the business? Where should they start, and how do they get there?
Well, you have to just put yourself out there. If you truly want to get into this business, and you need to make yourself known. This is what I want to do. How do I do it? How do I do it?
Yeah.
Once you're there and you're in it, it's just absorb as much information as possible. Yes. You have to be a sponge. Listen, Agreed. Take notes, Amen. Ask questions. Yep. How do I do this? How do I do that? You have to. It's an ongoing learning experience.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
still learning every day.
Every day. That's true.
If you really want to do it and you want to be successful, you have to work hard. You have to put the time in.
That's true. That's very
it,
true.
Period.
Yep.
And you will be successful.
Yeah.
You just have to want to do it and put yourself. But you have to put yourself out there first.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Yeah. Right. Don't be scared.
I think I
know. I want to do this. How do I do this?
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah. So what do you think? Do you want people? So I like people who want to come to the dealership and ask me for a job or internship, or always calling me and emailing me. I don't like people who just apply to Indeed and that's it. Do you like someone who is going to constantly email you and ask for a position, or come to the dealership? What do you look for?
Say that again. I'm sorry. I kind of lost you there for a second.
Like when someone's coming in for a job.
Yeah.
Do you like entry level position? Do you want them to just apply on Indeed, or do you like someone to come down to the dealership and ask and show the interest that way, or email you, call you? What
in person, in my opinion, literally going. I mean, obviously we're in a different time right now. Things are a little different, but showing up here. Here's my resume.
Yes.
I don't know if you're hiring.
Agreed.
Can I talk to somebody? You have to keep at it, but my opinion is literally putting yourself out there and going.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
In person.
I'm going to go back to what you said, will succeed. The day you put your feet up on your desk and think you won at life is the day you're going to fail.
I heard that somewhere.
100%.
Yep.
Absolutely.
We're always learning in this business, and we're always trying to move forward.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you always have to be willing to, take advice.
Yes.
You could be, 20, 30 years in the business. Take advice.
Yes.
Listen to, what other people have to say and how they're doing it.
Yes.
Because times are changing, and there are times where you need to change with the times.
Oh yeah.
Oh, tell me about it.
Right?
Yeah.
And you have to be open-minded. You can't just shut it down. I've been doing this long enough. You're not going to tell me. Well, the most successful people are the people that are willing to listen and,
adapt.
100%.
Yeah. I gotta manage grown men, man, and I'm a young kid, and they do not want to hear it.
Yeah.
They do not want to hear it.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough.
It is definitely tough. So Mel, I hear every now and then Pat say something about a book. Come on, girl, talk to us about that.
Unfortunately, I haven't actually sat down to write this book.
Well,
but
we're gonna light a fire.
I have some thoughts and some notes, written down. I actually keep it at work, in my desk. And if you ever seen me take out a yellow notepad, okay, just okay.
Mental note.
That's what it is. But I had told my husband and some family members, I want to write this book. I want to write a how-to, if you will, a advisor reference book. yeah, so
That's wonderful.
That's still,
And we're waiting.
That's still out there. I still want to do that. Just haven't actually sat down and put anything together other than my thoughts.
You can do it.
And then you can come back on and promote it.
Hello. You heard what he said? So you can come back on and we will promote it. Mel, thank you so much.
I've been inspired now.
Yes. We're each other's encouragers. Come on. We surround your people with. So surround yourself with positive people and people that are that are gonna be your champions.
Can't do epic things with basic people.
And your fans, yeah. Say that again, honey.
You can't do epic things with basic people.
Hello.
Wow, the man of quotes.
My husband is a smart individual. Now we're your fan, okay? Thank you for supporting us. Thank you. And so, I'm hoping you will come back, of course. And I'm hoping,
I hope so.
That we can come here.
That you can come here, and we'll be right next to each other. But thank you again. Thank you, Miss Lady.
Thank you.
The boss lady herself, Mel.
Thank you, Mel.
Thanks, Mel. Say goodbye to Matt, Mel.
Bye.
Bye.
Keep up the good work. Bye.
All right, awesome. That was Mel from the Big Dog Honda dealer in Connecticut. All right, that's awesome.
Yes, she's a good girl. Like back in the day, like I was saying about working with women or whatever. Mel is, she's a really stand-up lady.
You really adapted to her from when you started there.
I did.
Yep.
I did.
She really changed your thinking too on the way you
learned a lot from her. Yeah. Still learning. Learn a lot from each other.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, God is good. God, I pray for her. I pray that God bless her. I pray that God,
that book.
Oh my God, would just give her the mind and the straightforward thinking to put everything on this in this book, and that she also can be, encouraging others, through this book. Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be great. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. God, guys, everyone subscribe, 5 stars, Apple. We got to get those likes. Got to get those follows. We really thank you. We appreciate you.
Yes, we do. Each and every one of you.
Like, subscribe. Until next time, we're out.
Bye.